Hello everybody, my name is Aspace. We've got the Photon UI, the new type of UI style in EVE Online. As you can see, it looks quite a bit different. This is a new type of style of UI which I plan to keep on using, and it was since they released a new kind of compact mode. What I mean by that is that before they had this sort of mode that was like this. If we disable contact mode, it wasn't actually like this before. It was even bigger. Like there was a lot, like these spaces here. You see locations. There's like space above locations. There's like a bunch of other stuff here, and I didn't like that. Now they like made it more compact by default. Then plus they enabled it even more compact mode, and I really like that. So that was my main issue because I really like using the peoples and places tab here, or just the location tab, so you can see bookmarks in a very like nice fashion way, like sorts them between jumps. Because you can see here, I can have. What's it called now? I can have bookmarks that I sort by jumps. You can see sort by jumps, and I like having that because I know you can press L. People have told me it's a million times you can press L. Actually, this takes up L. But there was a different one before where it only showed the locations in the same system you're in. Now we can like do it here in this tab, or you could always do that in peoples and places. I just like using the peoples and places. That's the point. And the point is that they made it more compact, and that's what enables me to want to use the Photon UI. I have had some thoughts on this UI. I think it overall looks a lot better. I think it looks very clean, looks modern. There are some things that I think look that need a slight polish, but I can understand that, you know, it's a new thing. It can't be perfect off the bat. There's obviously things that there's like feedback needed to make slight adjustments here and there. But overall, I think it's quite a bit of an improvement over the previous one. It just feels a bit more stylish. I think it looks very uniform with the rest of the UIs in EVE Online. Like everything looks very, very similar. This, on the other hand, looks a bit strange. Look at this egg style right here. There's the agency right here, which looks in a particular way too. We've got some the help selections to find. Oh, these are actually quite interesting. I've not seen these before. I was thinking of looking at the agency career programs, but we've got these different tutorials right here. This actually looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool actually. They've got like a kind of
They're a good place to go if you're trying
a kind of video tutorials in EVE Online right here. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is nice. This is very useful. I can see to have as a new player. You can see this kind of stuff. You don't have to like Google it outside the game, because generally speaking, EVE Online, there's a lot of stuff which can be very helpful outside the game. Like there's lots of third-party tools and that kind of stuff. And when they add as much as they can in the game, so that you don't have to do that, like go into third-party stuff. I like that because I like having everything in the game. I think it feels incomplete to have the game feels incomplete when you have to rely on third-party stuff so much, because it just feels like, okay, yeah, why do I have to rely on this? Why don't you just put it in your own game instead of having some other guy has to slave away and make it for you instead? I think it's better to have stuff here in the game like this. There's obviously a lot more stuff that could be in the game that isn't third-party programs, but I mean, you can't expect everything at once, especially when EVE Online is such a big game. Okay, there was something here. I think that there was I thought that there was integration of the career program right here, but apparently not. You can claim these rewards right here. We'll unlock right here. What I was planning on doing was just doing a basic like T4 Firestorm. We could do that and get to work with a Firestorm, and in the process we can actually like examine like the way the UI looks and like, how this changed, what kind of different things we've got right here. The drone tab feels a bit less compact, I think. Disable compact mode. There's hardly any difference right here. I think it looks a lot better with compact. Maybe if it's in a separate window, perhaps, because I've got it with the. I have my probe scanner and drones usually in the same tab right here. Have we got any gankers? Need to check out for ganks. No, not gankers. That's good. That's good. Do I have my pod in? Got some pods in. Yeah, looks pretty good. You can see these different. You can see these different attributes, pilot licenses, skins. All this stuff. It looks pretty decent. The market is. Oh, I like the look of this that we can see. It just feels like I can see a bit more here. I'm not sure why. Oh, I think this looks pretty cool. Is the new Eden store any different? No, it looks the same to me. But I sort of think of the New Eden store to be like something that's a bit separate from the rest of the game, so I don't really mind that it's the same. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it to begin with. Though I do think that when you're buying stuff very frequently, it can get a bit laggy sometimes. Oh, I sound so rich now buying stuff. But like, I mean, like maybe skins and stuff like that. If I buy multiple skins at a time, it can feel a bit laggy. And you can see you got like tooltips and this kind of stuff in different colors. I think that looks pretty cool. You can also enable compact modes here, disable compact mode. And I think it's a bit interesting here how compact mode makes the icon bigger. I think it looks better when you have the icon bigger like this. So this is the fitting window right here. Looks pretty much the same. I've got like certain colors here. You can see it's got a bit brownish because I'm using an Amarian UI. That's why everything's themed a little bit brownish right here. See the Abaddon. It looks about the same. Got managed drones, perhaps no drone simulated. Looks pretty much the same, but it looks a bit different at the same time. One thing that I'm not particularly fond of is that some buttons feel a bit smaller. And I like, generally speaking, I like to have big buttons because I don't want to misclick. It sounds so silly, but so sometimes when I'm clicking very fast, I sometimes misclick, and when a button is too small, that can happen. Okay, let's see now. Does the combat seem particularly different? This icon right here, target, looks a bit different, a bit rounder. I'm wondering, yeah, you see these lines around the NPCs. If we just grab the loot real quick. Like, when we've got an NPC locked up, notice that there's like lines, lines around it, like 4 lines. I think that has been the same all the time. There's no difference in that because these aspects don't think have been changed at all. The icons look the same, the boxes look the same, and it makes sense. You don't want to maybe confuse the players too much. It's just the main UI elements that have become a bit different. But I think it looks pretty good. I didn't have much issue with the previous overview. It's not like I felt like, oh, it really needed to be changed. But I think the main reason that they did do the change is because they were introducing new UIs all the time. Like with the agency, for example, this is new. Then they have the Air Career program as well. I think they were just introducing new functions, and they're all in different themes. And they wanted to have just like a uniform theme so that everything sort of matches. I think that's the reason that they did this, so that or the plan is, at least as far as I understand, is that everything is supposed to match now. Because I think like the previous UI, perhaps it was a bit hard for it to match certain things. Like it felt very clear at times, or like it was very. The previous UI was very like very liney, like a lot of lines, not much color to it. And then you got the agency tab, which has like a bunch of, well, it doesn't have a lot of color, but like a bit more shapes, and didn't really fit in with the previous UI. So I think what they wanted to do is just find something that could sort of get everyone on the same page. Grab the buy adaptive cache over here, no dank loot, and my hammerhead is getting battered. One thing is that these text boxes here, I think there's a lot of space between them. I think that there might be a way to enable a compact mode here. No, there's not. Disable light background, enable light background. I like the light background. Okay, deploy drones. The drones don't feel as compact. Like, it feels a lot less compact. I would like it to be a bit more compact, because I have to scroll a lot. I didn't have to do this before, or I don't think I at least have to do it before. But these chat boxes, I feel like they're becoming they were a bit bigger than they used to be. Might be a way to make it even more compact. Show compact member list. And if we go on the overview settings over here, it looks pretty much the same here. The icons are the same. Whenever you go into these different like statuses, like security status, criminal, etc., all the same. So this is good, you can recognize. It's not like completely different that you can't recognize anything. But this I really like. I like that we can see the big portrait when we enable compact mode. Funny enough, I think that looks very nice. can reload the missiles and pop them. Are there any more aspects that we can explore that are maybe not shown here? Like, it's a bit interesting how they've made this peoples and places different, because it was not like this before. This is like the locations in the current system, like that we had before when we press L. So this is like what I was talking about before, that you can press L and you can see the location in the current system, not this tab right here. But if we go on the like personal here, we don't have peoples and places as a tab anymore. It's a bit of a different one. It's just got locations. They've like separated it a bit, and I can see that I can understand why they do that, because like locations and like searching for players is still something a bit different. Like peoples and places, it was nice to have them together, but it doesn't have to necessarily be together. Like it's two properties of Windows that can be separated, and you can obviously have them here. There's another tab if you would want it to be like that. Like for example, where is it now? I think social contacts. If we put this here, social contacts. So if we are to, for example, put this here, I tried doing this. This is a critique I've got for the UI, because I was thinking, okay, it's nice to have the contacts tab here, but the issue I have is this. Look, like it feels really stupid that I've got two layers here. You can see that I've got like with the contacts, okay, locations, and then I've got second locations here. I don't see why I have to have this like that. Just have like a search integrated in this, so I don't have this whole bar here. It feels like I'm wasting a whole layer of UI for nothing. So that's the reason I don't actually even have this. Otherwise, I would like to have the contacts tab here because it can still be useful, but I just don't, because it takes so much space. And I don't particularly often use the contacts tab. I mainly use this tab here for locations. But that's an improvement. So if any CCP people are watching this, I would preferably like you to remove that bar and integrate it somehow, that you don't have to deal with that extra bar with there. Because as little extra bars as possible, for me, that's the best. Because I just want to be able to have everything as compact as possible. So kind of more spaceships, less UI, less spreadsheets, you know. So we don't have, there's nothing that says that we have to live up to the meme of Evil Line being a spreadsheet simulator. It does, you often end up becoming one, but there's nothing that says that we have to live up to the meme, you know. Okay, we've got the angels here, no problem. Elites we'll want to go for first. These guys are a bit battered up. Elite Lucifer Dramiel. Yeah, we'll go towards the combined active cache because it's just gonna newt us or web us so much. But that's probably my main critique. It sounds so silly, like, oh, just a bar for a critique. But it's something that I preferred in the old one. And I mean, if you're gonna completely overhaul a new UI, it should pretty much be better than the previous one in every way possible. No exceptions, really. At least in terms of functionality. Like the appearance, this is obviously subjective, but when it comes to like functionality, I think the functionality should be identical. Like your ability to keep stuff organized should be the same. Shouldn't be worse. Okay, we'll recall drones. They're getting slapped up over here. Can approach this drone, who is probably becoming webbed. 5 kilometers away. There he is. Oh, we're getting neutered out as well. It's alright. And then also the buttons, some of them feel a bit small. Like this scan button feels very wedged into here. It is nice that these bars here for the D-scan are a bit bigger, because it makes it a bit easier for you to like very precisely put the angle of the D-scan. If it's very small, it can sometimes be a bit difficult. But I'm not too big fan of this being very small. I like when the buttons are a bit on the bigger side, so you don't misclick it, especially in a stressful situation. You don't want to misclick buttons. Obviously, you got like the V key, which you can use, so you don't really have to care about that then, but still. Oh, we got to the adaptive cache. Who is webifying me? Lucifer Echo and Lucifer Cinnabal. And the Ixions are like the easiest ones, so we just take them out last. Popped. See if we can get that good armor plate drop right here. See if the armor plate drop can work as a way to sell the new UI. Oh, we got an armor plate mutaplasmid. It wasn't the large one and it wasn't the unstable one. But if it was unstable large, that would be really good. Unstable large. Look at this, 200 million. Unstable large armor plate mutaplasmid. Really great. Let's just check for gankers real quick. Can have some maybe potentially some PvP with the with the Photon UI. Just recharge the full shields. Keep at range. Okay, let's get out here, see what we've got. Okay, no gankers. So that's it. Abyss in the new Photon UI. I think the Photon UI looks pretty good. I think it looks like a modern improvement over the old one. A few things I think need to be tweaked here and there. The bar here and the pupils and locations. If you add the contacts tab, and also some of the buttons, I would prefer if they were a bit bigger. Otherwise, I like it. I'm very glad they added the compact mode. A lot better than it was before. So be sure to check that out. If you don't know how to check it out, you can do like this: feature previews when you press escape, Photon UI, enable it right here. Just be in mind, it does reset some filters and that kind of stuff you got, so just be careful when using it. You could, I think if you've got like some really advanced overview setup, maybe some market stuff, don't use it. Just research into it, because I've heard some people saying that they've been using it and some like stuff has been reset in their UI. As far as I can tell, everything's the same, but just be careful about that. If you're going to use it, but you can find it here in future previews. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.